All right. So today we're ranking the point guards.
In lieu of Tyrese Haliburton absolutely scorching them fools again. What is it? 5 game-winning shots. What, 4 of them in this playoff run alone?
Yeah, he sold his soul to Satan. There's no
He
doubt.
definitely did.
There's no doubt in my mind.
Yes.
He's really good.
He's very good, but a lot of the conversation surrounding his play is how good is he, and how good is he versus other point guards in the NFL?
Yeah, because how many home runs is he hitting against them?
I mean, more than his stolen bases.
He can't it's weird because the first game of the finals, he didn't have like a terrible game, but it wasn't like he jumped off the stat sheet. It was literally just.
No, I can let's look up his exact stat line.
He was there when he needed to be there, and obviously he hits the game winner, so that's what people are going to remember. You know what I mean? But I want to say Pascal had a really good game before that, Pascal Siakam, and begs the question. Let's just say, I know it's just one game, but let's just say you were given the Finals MVP right now off of one game. Would you give it to Tyrese or would you give it to Pascal?
Based on one game,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody really on the Pacers deserved it for one game. But if you are going to give it to somebody, you need to give it to somebody that's filling up the stat sheet. And yeah, I mean, Siakam, he had 19 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 assists, 7 of 15 shooting, 1 for 2 from behind the arc. And then Haliburton was 14 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists on 6 of 13 shooting, 2 for 7 from 3. So they're very similar numbers. He turns in some assists for some points. It's really kind of a toss-up.
Yeah, I guess you're right, yeah.
But yeah, it would feel really weird giving a MVP to someone averaging 14 points a game.
Yeah.
If that's what ends up happening.
They had 3 double-doubles.
Yes.
With Nesmith.
Everybody in their starting lineup had 10 points.
I always love seeing that.
And they almost all had double-doubles.
Yeah.
How is it the tallest guy on your team is one of the worst rebounders?
Dude, I like Miles Turner.
I do too.
But he needs to be a better rebounder.
He's a terrible rebounder.
7 foot tall. He's averaging like 7 or 8 rebounds a game for a career.
Not even that. I think he's like 6.
It makes no sense to me.
Let's find out.
But he's a tremendous defensive player. And his offensive game has gotten a lot better.
No, he's a better player offensively than I thought he ever would be in terms of what he can do. But yeah, his career rebounding numbers are pretty freaking abysmal. Let's see. I'm on the wrong page.
Josh Hart is averaging more rebounds per game.
Josh Hart's one of their better rebounders on the team.
Yeah, he's a really good rebounder.
Where are they at? I don't say rebounds. Reeves. Okay. Career rebounding numbers 6.8 per game. Yeah. His best year was 7.5 in 2022. Which for a guy that's 7 foot tall, that's ridiculous.
That's insane, yeah.
Yeah. If you're Dennis Rodman would just box him out.
And I don't watch a lot of Pacers games. I think I've watched more Pacers games this year than I ever have in my entire life.
Yeah, I'm not a Pacers watcher.
So I don't understand, how is he not getting rebound? I mean, I guess Pascal pulls a lot.
Well, as a team, the rest of their players actually rebound quite well.
Yeah, so maybe it's that. But Pascal Siakam's only been there a couple of years, and same with Haliburton's only been there a couple of years. Neeson, all these guys are he's been there the longest. Mm-hmm. So it's no one should have been taking rebounds from him before.
No,
you know
it's a shame. Was he that big?
Did he directly follow Roy Hibbert, or was there anyone in the middle? I can't remember. I want to say he directly followed Roy Hibbert.
I mean, in terms of
that's their starting
notable talent, I don't think there's really been anybody since then. There might have been a gap year guy, but it's the Pacers, and I don't watch the Pacers.
Oh, they had didn't they have Sabonis?
Domantas Sabonis. I think of him as more of a power forward.
Yeah, no, he is. Yeah,
but he's a tweener guy for me.
He was there, right? Am I tripping?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if he was there then, but I know he played some time in the Pacers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was there for. So maybe that's why he wasn't getting rebounds over the career. Then I'll give it back. Yeah. Because from 2017 to 2022, Sabonis was a Pacer.
But that was his best year as a rebounder was in 2022. 7.5 a game. So let's rank some.
Yeah, we went on a tangent.
That's okay.
So we got our superstars. Go ahead and see Sinners. It's now on Prime Video.
Right.
We've got our superstars.
It was a good movie.
Let's start with the
Who's the number 1 point guard in the NBA?
Luka.
Who's the number 1 point? You think Luka Doncic is the number 1 point guard in the NBA?
I think so. Yeah.
Let's see here. See,
Oh, actually, I might be wrong.
Who you got?
Maybe Shea.
See, I don't think Shea is a point guard also in my mind either.
Really?
Yeah, he doesn't assist the ball. He averages less than 7 a game.
I mean, yeah, but he's their
My
primary.
my idea of the point guard is the guy that's handling the ball. He's dishing, he's assisting, he's facilitating. He makes his teammates better.
Yeah, D'Angelo Russell.
And who? No. I mean, yeah, I think if looking at this list, it's a pretty light core group of players for point guard position. I feel like the point guard position should have more star power, but yeah, let's go ahead and put, or if I can do this.
Luka's a definitive superstar.
Superstar. Now, number 2, this is where it's going to get interesting.
Yeah, Dame Dollar should be up there.
I don't.
And so here's the thing too: is that we've got guys like, let's just look at Dame, Kyrie, Curry, James Harden are all top tier, but like
at the end of their careers.
Yeah, they're in the twilight.
And then you've got the young guys that are up and coming, like Cade Cunningham.
Yeah.
Obviously Tyrese Haliburton. I think you could put like De'Aaron Fox in there.
Yeah, Fox is jumping up.
I mean, maybe you could even put. I personally wouldn't put him there, but
Trae
Young, maybe you could put him there. I wouldn't.
Trae is a tremendous IQ player, but he's not a winner.
I think the problem with the point guard position is it's the highlight reel position. You're the ball handler. You're the guy with the ball in your hand. You're bringing it up. So these players have fallen in love with step back threes and these highlight reel plays, but they're not efficient. And the best point guards are efficient point guards.
Right. Yeah,
So-
they're not quarterbacks anymore.
I personally, I know he's old.
Grandpa Paul over here.
Steph Curry is who I would think is number 2.
That's fine. Put him up there. Yeah.
like
I mean, he deserves to be in the superstar category, anyways. So we're gonna throw him in there. I think I'm still putting. I'm still putting Kyrie. I'm still putting Dame, and I think I'm putting Kyrie, Dame, Shea.
Is Kyrie better than Shea Gilgeous-Alexander?
No, not now.
Not now. So you think Shea is the next?
I think Shea is the second in the league currently.
Really?
But I think he's just because Curry's, like I said, he's kind of beyond his. He's beyond. I think Curry's going to go down as a top 5 point guard of all time, hands down. Maybe.
But they both have the same issue for me, is they're both not traditional point guards.
Yeah.
They don't facilitate the ball like Luka facilitates or like Cade Cunningham facilitates.
Yeah.
They're much more combo guards that just have the ball in their hands.
But Trey facilitates.
Yeah, but Trey doesn't play defense.
True. Yeah.
And I'm sick and tired of players that can't play defense.
LaMelo Ball could be up there if he'd stay healthy.
He's another Trae Young. He's fallen in love with the highlight reels and he can't play defense.
No.
And he can't stay healthy either. What about
Jalen Brunson?
See, there's another guy. Jalen Brunson plays 0 defense.
Yeah, that shows.
Let me show you where Jalen Brunson is to me.
Yeah.
Where he goes to me.
Don't you put him at F. C?
If you can't, half the game in the NBA is defense. You're locking down their primary ball handler. If you're a sieve, that's a problem. I don't need you to be the best defender in the league, but you need to be, a journeyman enough to stick out there and not be a net negative player for your team. Because I don't care if you're scoring 35 if you give up 30 every night.
Right.
Because you're bringing 5 points to your team.
There we go. I got the
statistically.
Just the leading point guard, just the leading scores in the point guard position. Up here. You know who I really like is TJ McConnell. But obviously not like.
No, he's probably one of the best like 6 men. Him and what's the kid from
Peyton Pritchard.
Derek
White.
I was about to say.
Boston, I hate them, but they have 2 really good bench guards.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So wow.
See, Kobe White is who I would have as the point guard for freaking.
Yeah, for the Bulls.
For the Bulls.
Yeah,
not Josh Giddey.
I don't know why Giddey's on there and Kobe isn't. Kobe started most of the year, I feel like.
Well, Giddey's like a 3. He's a legitimate 3. Or maybe a 2 or 3.
All right. So we got.
I mean, maybe he's not a C. He'd probably be.
I mean, come on.
But he doesn't play. He plays no defense.
He was top 8 in points and top 8 in assists. But defensively he
He
needs.
doesn't play, and it's not that like I mean, it gets the effort. If you can put forth all this energy on offense, boy, you better be playing some damn defense.
Darius Garland is really efficient. I didn't realize how efficient he was. He's shooting 40% behind the arc.
I didn't realize how good Cade was.
Cade Cunningham?
Yeah, I mean, I knew he was great and he was on his upswing, but I wouldn't have had him there.
And you know what? Honestly, I think he deserves to be A. I wouldn't put him in a superstar.
Cade, no, that's where, yeah, Cade for sure. Bam.
We'll put him at an A because he has, not single-handedly, but he has turned the Pistons around.
Yeah.
From the Pistons, I mean, they were a playoff team this year from where they were 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago.
Yeah, I like him in Detroit too. I think he's got a good like mentality makeup for that city.
Are you throwing Shea at the superstar?
Shea, yeah, Shea. I mean, as much as I'm pissed off about the way things have gone in terms of like the foul cultivation and sort of how he plays the game, I'm not a fan. At least putting him under the microscope of the playoffs, I was a bigger fan until these playoffs came in, and now I find myself whoever the Thunder are playing is who I want them to be beaten by. Like. Now, right now, I'm like all in on the Pistons, like or not Pistons, but the Pacers.
I want the Pacers. They've never won, and Oklahoma City's never won, but they won in Seattle, so it's like the franchise has won. But I want to see a new team get a championship, so I really would like to see the Pacers win. And I like Haliburton a lot.
I think Reggie Miller is one of my favorite old school players, and he was so close. It's time to give it to him. All right, Dame. Dame for me.
Why is Kyrie not even showing up here? I don't even see him on here.
He might not have played the number of games. Played the.
Was he that hurt?
Threshold games. I don't know.
Because I mean, Damian played 58. He's on here, but maybe it's I don't know. I didn't realize he was hurt that long. And that's another thing is look up Kyrie real quick. Kyrie and Dame both, I think, like I said, they're superstars, they're Hall of Famers, they're legends. But this point in their career, they're on kind of the backswing, and they're also coming off. Dame had a injury-riddled year. Kyrie had an injury-riddled year.
He played in 50 games.
Yeah. So I think looking at that, I think that excludes them from.
Can we put Dame and Kyrie in the A tier?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
It's not that they weren't up in the S tier previously.
No.
Maybe you could argue that Dame wasn't quite S tier, but they're just sloping downward a little bit at this point.
No. You don't like DeJounte Murray?
Oh my God, I thought that was Jordan Poole.
No.
My bad, DeJounte Murray.
Yeah,
you without your dreads there is throwing me off.
You can put Poole. I want to give him a D. I put him at D. Come on. We'll put him at D.
D's nuts.
Put Terry Rozier's F.
Where'd he go?
And I'm going just strictly off of this past season. D'Lo F.
D'Lo F. Just kidding.
Oh.
I love D'Angelo Russell. He's one of my favorite college players of all time. And in another universe, he's a fringe all-star for his career, but not this universe, unfortunately.
And I genuinely thought his struggles this year were just because of the Lakers, the attention. You have a couple bad games with the Lakers, and you're forefront of the media, so you're not really like I don't know how to explain it. If you have 5 bad games for the Lakers at the forefront of the media, it's like you're just getting dogged, and it can make you spiral.
Yeah.
And I think he was spiraling with the Lakers, and I was like, all right, to get him to Brooklyn, it was good for him, I felt like. And he still kind of just...
He strikes me as like a Ricky Williams-esque player in terms of his mental status.
Yeah.
And that like he probably just doesn't care about like the basketball thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he likes to play and loves the game, but like everything else that surrounds the game, like he just strikes me as someone who's very laissez-faire about that side.
Yeah. Put Drew at the B.
Giroux, yes, he's on a downslope.
Yeah,
though.
a little bit old. His defense is phenomenal, but he isn't scoring like he used to, not facilitating.
I'm gonna put
like
Cade underneath him too.
What
about a guy like Ja Morant?
See, and the thing with Ja is, and we've talked about him before, so much of his off the field or off the court stuff, and then honestly, he didn't play a lot of games this year either.
No, he was injured for most of the season.
I don't want to put him at. I'll put him at B. I can see him at B. He did have a good year when
he's not had a bad year, but he's the type of guy that like I feel like he's trending downward.
He played 52, yeah. Yeah, I mean
he was like he's trending downward, yeah.
A couple years ago he was averaging 27, 26 and 8,
25, 23. I feel like he's peaked, I think. I don't think we're ever going to see him get better than he was. But I don't have a problem putting him in. Can I put him like way down
Put him
here?
at the B tier.
Yeah. DeJounte Murray, Wilson here. What about, I don't think he's a point guard, but they put him in here. James Harden.
He kind of he went back up this year.
What? I think he's averaging what, like 11 points a game?
James Harden?
Mm-hmm.
No, he's back in the 20s.
Or was that just the playoffs?
James Harden, he averaged 22 points and 8 assists this year. Last year he was down. He was like at 16. So he's kind of going back up.
Yeah, it must have been his playoffs average. He was averaging like 11 points in the playoff series.
Yeah. I'm gonna put him at I'll put him at B. God, you could argue A, but because he's 35 now, and I think this year was a weird year because the Clippers just wasn't very good. They were good enough to squeak into the playoffs, or did they make play? They were in playoffs. Right?
Yeah.
And he was like, I just think he was the best player on a not so good team, and that kind of helped him out. You see a lot of guys like that's where Jordan Poole is in his career. He's a good player on a bad team, and so,
I think he's everything that's wrong with basketball. James Harden is everything that's wrong with basketball. Jeez, how many teams has he gone to? He's forced his way onto. They got to mortgage whatever future they have to get him. He gets there, and before the season's over with, he's already on his way out and pissed off and bitching and moaning about this, that, or the other. The numerous times he's tanked franchises with this idea that he's going to be the savior. And no, he doesn't care. He doesn't play defense either. He's there for the big moments. And then when it's not all cherry blossoms, he's going to sit the flip down and not make a sound. And I just over that nonsense.
There it is.
Whoop, there it is. Who else is
look at Darian Fox. I put him A.
See, he to me is a fringe A, B guy. I don't know that I can quite put him in an A category yet.
Not right.
Maybe
23.5 points a game.
How's his assist numbers this year?
6.3 assists.
Yeah, see, that's low for a guy that's not stretching the court with his shooting.
But his defense is...
No, yeah. I'll give him a bump for his defensive measures.
And he was he was playing with Chris Paul this year, so...
Yeah, Chris Paul sucks.
What
about Jamal Murray?
Jamal Murray is another one who is, I think he's kind of underrated, but I think his best ball is behind him.
He's underrated. His thing for me is like a lot of Nuggets players is their inconsistencies.
Yeah.
Their averages will be great.
And 21-6.
But the only player on that team that's really consistently doing that night in and night out is Jokic.
Yeah.
He's the type of guy that he'll do 30 and 15 as opposed to 25 and 25.
I'll put him at, he's kind of another fringe A-B.
I think he deserves to be the B tier just because, again, he's not been up to his heights. If this was bubble playoff Murray, he's an A.
Yeah. We'll put him at B.
I'll put him in the high B's. I'll put him behind Drew. No, I can't put him ahead of what's his face. I can put him there. I feel okay about that. Any other big ones in here? We still got Tyrese Haliburton, which is I was just trying to flesh the list out a little bit before we started to put him in here yet. We got a bunch of other like
Anthony Simmons.
Anthony Simmons is a D tier. DeJounte Murray.
Anthony is more. He's basically a shooting guard, right?
Yeah, but that's why I'm putting him in a D tier. Yeah. He's not an unusable player by any stretch. He's got great value for what he does.
I mean,
he just doesn't offer a lot on the defensive end either.
And he's even listed as a shooting guard. I don't get that, but yeah, you can throw him at the D. Murray, put him C, just kind of mid level. Murray's another one that he's kind of been up and down.
He to me is like the threshold, right? Either you're better than DeJounte Murray and you're a potential all-star, perennial all-star, or you're not as good as DeJounte Murray and you're not an all-star at all.
I think where he messed up was leaving San Antonio.
He should have stayed with the Spurs.
Yeah, he was starting to get into the groove. I think Pop liked him a lot, and
he just didn't shoot the ball well.
No, but I can't remember if he requested a trade or if he was a free agent, or I can't remember how he left. But when he left, I was like, that's a bad move for him. And he's not been bad, but he just hasn't been.
No, he doesn't have all the package that you want for a point guard. He doesn't stretch the floor with the shooting. He really is a poor man's De'Aaron Murray or De'Aaron Fox.
You put Mike Conley at the C just because of his age.
Yeah, I was gonna say he would be way down because of his age.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna put Drew in the B, we got to put Mike in the C.
What
about LaMelo?
I want to put him. I want him to be an A, but he just can't stay healthy,
He's
so keeping him at the B. And then again, like you said, a highlight ball. I'm putting Trey at the A still, though.
Trey. You're putting Trey in the A's?
Yeah, I'm putting Trey in the A's.
I think he's closer to having AIDS.
Boo, because he's Magic.
He can't play defense whatsoever.
Tyus Jones.
Tyus Jones is a D tier player.
Yeah.
He's a very good NBA player.
Yeah.
But we're talking about like the best we're measuring everything.
And
so these are all starters.
Yeah.
So
he also started super late. Like
he's another player that does a couple things really, really, really well.
Yeah, 29. He didn't really start starting. Well, I guess he started.
He came into the league and played no minutes.
Yeah. And he didn't really start starting until last year.
Yeah, he really started carving some time out for him.
So Giddey. Giddey.
A guy that's another enigma that should just like he would be a perfect piece for the Thunder team, and they traded him away.
And like you were saying, look, he's 14 points a game, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. He's good at everything, but not great at anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But that's what people are trying to tell me, that like Cooper Flag is going to be this world beater. And I try to tell them, like, we have tons of players that are very similar to him.
Yeah.
Not that Josh Giddey is Cooper Flag.
Yeah.
But there's players that are just like him. He's a jack of all trades, master of none.
I'm putting Giddey at the C.
Yeah, Giddey's got a good stat line there.
Yeah.
That's not a bad little.
He's solid. He's a very solid player.
I might have to put him ahead of this boy right here.
I don't think that he is. I don't think that he is a. I mean, he's even listed as a shooter.
No, he's more of a 3 to me. He's 6'8". He's not fast enough to be a point guard.
Jalen Suggs, you could throw him at the D.
Yeah, not a bad player, but not a starting level player.
You could maybe argue C for him, but
I don't think he's quite starting caliber to me. At least not for point guards. He can't keep up on the defensive end with the guys that are smaller.
See, 3 assists a game. He's not.
No, he's listed as a shooting
guard. And he only played 35 games this year. So, yeah, D is perfect for him. Colin Sexton, maybe C. He's mid-level.
It's another guy that got drummed out of Cleveland. I mean, I think Sexton is better than Poole.
Yeah.
So maybe
he's trying to get his stats pulled up, not the MMA player. He is on a bad team too. There you go, 18, 2-4. He's just.
I mean, I think I'm okay putting him in C tier.
Yeah, he's mid-level. Yeah, he's not bad. I wouldn't mind having him on the Lakers. I wouldn't mind having him on the Lakers. Actually, have. No, never mind. I don't want him over Luka or Reeves.
Hell no.
Maybe as a role guy, but he doesn't strike me as a guy that wants to come in and come off the bench. He wants to be a starter. Darius Garland, I'm putting Darius at the B. I think he's underrated.
Well, they chose him over Colin Sexton.
Yeah, and he's efficient. Like we were saying, his shooting, I didn't realize his shooting was as high as it was.
No, he's having a great year. I would even probably put him above LaMelo. I'm okay with him being like right here.
The B. Van Vliet to me is a C.
Yeah, I love Van Vliet, what he does. And for a guy that like came into this league to only shoot threes, really.
He had a down year. He had a bad year.
Yeah, he played
37%.
Their whole team just can't score with the ball.
Yeah,
like they play just defense.
Houston has they have a problem. They have a bunch of really good, or not. They have a bunch of good players, but not like a star. They don't have like a guy. If you look at their roster, they've got a lot of guys who can go out and score.
It's just a defensive-minded team.
And they can't. Oh, they did make the playoffs. I forgot about that.
Yeah, Sengun. They were like the 2 seed.
Yeah, you got Jalen Green, Fred VanVleet, Amen Thompson, Dylan Brooks, Jabari Smith, Terry Eason. All of them are really good, but not like great. And then Sengun is going to be.
I think that
he's going to be the
Thompson is their best player.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He's just he's really, really, really raw.
Yeah, he is
really raw. But for a guy that's 6'7", he's almost averaging 10 rebounds a game.
Where did he come? Houston. No, where did he come from?
Him and his brother.
They didn't play college, right? They came from G League.
Look his bio.
I think they come from the G League thing.
I don't think that they were college players now.
Yeah.
But where is he?
He's 22, so he's got plenty.
But I think Van Vliet is a solid
Yeah.
NBA player.
He can figure it out. I think that going to Houston might not have been the best thing for him, to be honest with you. I think he should have stayed in Toronto.
Yeah, he should have just made a career in Toronto.
Speaking of Toronto, you got Emmanuel Quickly there. He is someone who is
Quickly going to go in the D.
Another one who he's basically a shooting guard out of Kentucky. His assists jumped up a little bit this year.
I mean, I think he's better than probably Tyus Jones or Jones over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where did you
put him?
Right
D?
here. D tier. I mean, I'm measuring him up against everything else.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. All right.
Malik Monk, a guy that should be so flippin' talented in terms of what he can do.
I've always said there are players who are basketball players, and then there's hoopers, and Malik Monk is a hooper. He is just someone he is a microwave. He is a walk-in microwave.
Yeah, I put him in. I think he's a C tier player.
Yeah,
like not as good as Murray, I don't think, but I can put him above Conley and feel okay about it.
And now we have
Tyrese Maxey, and then one more.
Yeah,
I like Tyrese Maxey. I know he had a little bit of an off season, but
well, the whole team.
Well, yeah, the whole team was just
the
trash.
76ers just imploded, and he still put up good numbers. I mean,
yeah, 26-6.
26-6. I think you could also throw him in that B area.
I think if anything, I think he's better.
Yeah, you could throw him. Look at his steal. 1.8
Yeah, I think
steals.
he's better than fucking Dickhead McGee right here.
Dickhead McGee. Looking
shoot like Jordan Farmar with a worse hairline.
Dang, Jordan Farmar is a deep pool.
From UCLA, baby boy. All right.
So now we got the man of the hour. The whole reason why this video is happening. Tyrese Haliburton.
Is he an A tier? Is he an S tier?
And the thing with Tyrese, and he had a great year last year. If this was last year, I would say bona fide, he's an A. Even the year before, 20-10 the last 2 years, and then this year 18-9. Took a little bit of a step back, but this playoff run has been generational. Like you said, 5-game winner or 4-game winners. Trying to pull up his postseason.
Well, let's think about it this way, right? If a guy for his career averages 20 and 10 at a point guard position, is he an all-star? Is he a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, without a doubt.
So then what the fuck are we talking about?
Well, I'm just saying because this year he kind of took a step back. I think if this was last year, he would be top A. I'm going to still throw him at the A, but I'm going to say he's bottom A. He's not top A, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It just matters how much credence are you going to give
7, 8,
to
9, 10. So he's definitely a top 10 point. So we got 9 guys in S and A. So these are our top 10 point guards in the league. With him,
I like how it's like perfectly done the diagram the way it would actually be.
I feel like I want to put him at the superstar because I feel like that would make it look. No, it wouldn't because
we need to be like
fuckhead Suggs. But
fuckheads.
Yeah. My OCD is going to make us redo this entire list
just to fix everything.
Suggs is an F. No,
here, I'll fix it right now.
yeah. I'm gonna put him. I think I don't think he's a top 5 point. Do you think he's top?
So is he better than Jordan Farmar?
Yes.
Is he better than Tyrese Maxey?
No, but I think Tyrese needs to be up.
I do too.
So yeah, let's move Tyrese. Let's switch Kyrie back here. On a Dame? Oh, you gotta do it that way.
Well, I was gonna move them.
Okay, yeah. This is getting confusing.
I meant to do this. They just won't let me do it right. Come on now.
Somewhere someone's going to see this like as the thumbnail. You should make this the thumbnail. Just so people are like, F! And then they come and comment, tell us we're stupid. Because Tyrese is in the F. I think Tyrese is 4.
Over Cade?
Over
From
Cade.
this year?
Let me look at
Cade let me
look at Cade again. Man. Let me look at Cade again. Maybe I'm tripping. I am tripping. All right, let's go. Cade, Tyrese.
Because if you put it like this, you can make a case that he's top 5.
I think he's 6. I think he's next.
You think you put him? You think you put him right here?
Yeah, I think he's there.
See, this is why I put him here instead, and it's.
You got him before Tyrese.
The playoff run.
Okay.
That's why I put him.
I can agree with that because Tyrese best player.
Just because of the playoff run. If you don't have the playoff run, he's probably
A little
in
bit
here.
lower, yeah.
And it's people falling in love too much with the points per game as a point guard.
Yeah.
When he just dwarfs all of their assist numbers.
Yeah, and also, he's shown potential in the past to be a top 5 point guard. And I think that he could have just had a year where they didn't need him to be. I mean, obviously they're having a good year. They've got a more fulfilled team, I think, than they've
It's
had.
a better like all around team.
Yeah.
It reminds me a little bit of the Pistons team that won the title against the Lakers and just absolutely bludgeoned them.
Yeah.
Reminds me a lot of that team.
So we're happy with. Now, again, this isn't like 1 through whatever this is, just so everyone knows. But we do have 1 through 5, so probably the top 10, and then the rest of them are just
yeah. And people are gonna lose their mind about this right here. Oh,
no, they really are.
They really are gonna lose their mind over this, and I think it's hysterical. But if you have a problem with this Jalen Brunson thing, I want you to use your brain. Don't use your emotion, and I mean that in a rude way, because people get emotional about this. But think about it logically. What makes him a great player? Yes, he's awesome with the ball in his hands, but you got to play defense too. That's half the game. And you can't tell me that the reason why they lost isn't because he couldn't play some defense a little bit better.
And if you're a Knicks fan and you hate this, go Pacers, bitch.
I like the Knicks.
No, shut up.
Yeah, go Pacers. I like the Pacers too, though.
Yeah, Pacers in 5 or whatever it was.
Pacers in 5. That's my actual legitimate.
That's your finals prediction? Mm-hmm. Pacers in 5?
Pacers in 5. Again, I think people are going to skip over it. This is going to be Lakers Pistons.
Yeah, because
they already did the hard job winning in Oklahoma or Oakland.
Yeah, they pulled one in Oklahoma. Yeah, I think they might drop game 2.
Yeah, but they don't need to win game 2,
and they'll go back to Indiana, and they should win both of those.
And you see, they already got their head coach out there making lineup adjustments, which he doesn't do in with his starting lineup.
They might go. I might say Pacers in 6.
Yeah, because you're a giant loser.
Well, I think that OKC is going to win tonight, or this is coming out tonight.
Yep.
And then I think the Pacers are going to win both back in Indy, but then they're going to go back to Oklahoma, and I think they're going to drop that one and win it in Indy. So I'm going to say Pacers in 6.
I think that they're going to win tonight. I think the Pacers are going to win tonight.
If they win tonight, it's over.
They're going to drop the first one in Indiana, and then they're going to close it out.
Ooh, they're going to close it in OKC. Don't you hate when the team wins in the other team's stadium? It's just not as fun.
No. I think it's the best.
Really?
One of my favorite moments is when Ohio State beat Minnesota for some game, and their stadium's like in this bowl. So you actually have to travel down the stairs to get to the field. Ooh. And we literally carried their goalposts up out of the stadium and took it.
And then did nothing else that year.
We did. No, fuck you, boy. We do something every year. All right. But that's it for this video because it's 35 minutes long.